Let me just sit down here. Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm about. UFC 158, can't wait for it, but that's not what's going on now. What's going on now is my personal UFC on Fox 6 personal blog. I mentioned how a changing in the guard is not only good for MMA, but it's necessary, especially if we want the sport to be taken seriously. We have to have serious, athletes, interesting athletes. The one issue I see with a lot of the new guys that are supposed new breed that are extremely well rounded and in every facet of MMA at the same and they grew up learning it all at the same time is decisions. I see points and decisions being popping up more often than not. But then again you have a card like this that makes me think that there's a reason for that. So real quick, UFC on Fox 6 that didn't come without controversy. Certainly not in the second only the second flyweight title fight. Demetrius Johnson looked excellent. John Dodson, I have to give him 5 stars all day. John Dodson, I really thought this kid is going to be, well, regardless, he's going to be a superstar. He already is, and it was nice to take a break for a while, but let's get back into it and let's just jump right in. The main event on UFC on Fox 6 started out the prelims, started out on FX, and if you watch the prelims, you watch Mike Russo. Now, there's controversy and everything, and this is one of the matches that had none in it. I actually tweeted it right before it happened. I'm not a fan of Mike Russo. He's just like one of those heavyweights that just carries around just a whole lot of fat. Doesn't look like he trains. Joe Rogan did say that he has a grappling background. I would not want to grapple with his fat, sweaty ass. I'm sorry, I'm just not a Mike Russo fan. I understand, either it was in Chicago or close to Chicago. Yeah, is in Chicago. So he is actually a Chicago policeman, which makes me like him even less. So it's not that I have any problem with police. It's just that I have a huge problem with police. Anyway, I tweeted it before it happened, and what happened is he was looking fantastic early, and he was landing shots. He was picking his shots. He was winning the fight. He caught him. He caught his adversary was named Sean Jordan, and Sean Jordan, he looked like he was on his way down. He looked like he was really, on his way down, face first on the canvas. And what happened was, I tweeted it. Russo's going to gas out, and he's going to lose this fight. In the second round, Sean Jordan wins via TKO over Mike Russo. And Joe Rogan was saying, man, how this has to be so nerve-wracking in front of your friends and family. You're always in front of your friends and family. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure if I ever made it, which I would never will, and believe me, I've almost tried. I took a Muay Thai class and lasted 10 days, so never be a mixed martial artist. So anyway, even if I was, I would make sure, I would expect my friends and family to watch me. And yeah, but being in your hometown, being a cop there, you really want to represent. And it looked like he was so anxious because he did catch him with a few good shots. He was so anxious to finish that fight, that he blew his wad. And Joe Rogan said it live on TV, and he said it's actually a gambler's term. Blew his wad is, blew his wad. He was finished. He was done in the second round. Bader, a lot of people are saying Bader's back. I don't think Bader was ever here. I'm sorry. I'm just I'm not full of hate today. I'm not full of hate at all. It feels great to be back, but I just don't think Bader was ever. I just think he's overrated. He's definitely on my overrated list, and I forgot to put him there because he's just that irrelevant to me. Now, I'm not saying that's a fact. To me, he's just that irrelevant. I think John Jones took care of him with ease, when it was supposed to be a fairly, evened up match. He took care of him with ease. Yeah, he was Tito Ortiz's one and only victim in like 6 years. That has to be embarrassing. But you still can't take away what he did last Saturday, and that was submission first round, total strikes thrown, three strikes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, takedown to submission. Good job. For Beta, I'm happy for him, and what makes it even that much sweeter is it's over a veteran of the sport, actually the second second longest active fighter in the UFC that fell victim to submission to Ryan Bader. That's Vladimir, the janitor, Matt Yushchenko. I didn't first see Vladdy in the UFC. I first saw him something called IFL, the International Fight League, where they actually had teams and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. And he was the champ. He was the heavyweight champ of the IFL. So So I mean, it's no joke, and he's been around forever, and to be handled like that by Ryan Bader really made a statement, and got some respect out of me. It's just I don't think. He's ever. I don't see him holding a title someday. I just don't see that happening. Maybe a gatekeeper. Anyway, let's keep moving on. Guida, his featherweight debut. I thought for sure I'm clapping, going crazy because I think I'm thinking, especially after his last performance with the probably who I think right now is would beat Ben Henderson. Well, sometimes gets overzealous, sometimes gets a little bit too aggressive, and that's Gray Maynard. Gray Maynard has excellent wrestling, which I think is the best foundation. I'm not just mocking Joe Rogan or copying Joe Rogan. It is the best base, to get into MMA wrestling. And if you want to talk wrestling and wrestlers and how good they are, you can't mention and you cannot mention this guy. So Gray Maynard, top of the heap. He fought Gray Maynard, and the way he fought was a way that Dana White put. If he wants to keep fighting that way, he can, but I would not advise it. It was directed directly at Clay Guida and the Jackson camp. All of them. You have to see the fight. I'm not going to sit here and explain it. It's old news. The way he fought Gray Maynard was just ridiculous. But another thing was Hioki's guard. Hioki's guard was incredible. Clay Guida usually passes people's guard at will. Usually he just throws that leg over and expects to pass that guard. He kind of expects you to let him pass your guard. Hioki didn't do that. Hioki had a very solid working guard. He wasn't really attacking full force from it. I think he could have a little bit more oomph. Couldn't have hurt, but that's not what happened. I still think that it was a robbery. I'm pulling for Clay here, but what's fair is fair, and I really liked his guard. I thought he had a phenomenal guard. Clay had a slow start, and Hioki found his range earlier. Definitely got off more shots. His shots were effective. They were accurate. He looked fantastic in that fight, and it was just baffling. 30-27 Guida that's tough to swallow. We also have on our hands, my friends, we have a stud alert. And that's TJ Grant. TJ Grant is obviously all of a sudden a stud. Now, me being an MMA absolute fanatic, I had no idea, again, that someone dropped in weight, A, and B, that he was on a 3-fight win streak going into this fight with Matt Wyman. Now I thought, well, it's about to break because Matt Wyman, TJ Grant also, to me, stands out in my mind, being famous for poking Anthony Johnson in the eye and basically ruining his career for a year anyway, maybe a little bit longer. I was told several times before that to keep his hands closed, and poked him in the eye not once but twice, and ended up having to get surgery. So I didn't really pay attention, didn't really like TJ Grant. Heard he was on a 3-fight win streak. I liked the song he came out to, so I watched his fight. He fed Matt Wyman some Muay Thai elbows that he's never going to forget, and he ate some fucking canvas quick. So I was very impressed with TJ Grant. That's the stud alert. And next comes the tears, because this is one of the fights that I have wanted to see, not only on this card. It's not that I couldn't wait for this fight to happen on this card and piss on all the other guys, and it doesn't really matter to me who this is one of the fights in 2013 that have been announced that were set to be official that I wanted to see more than anything. It doesn't matter if it's on the undercard, a prelim. To me, if I take interest in it, I take interest in it. And that's the stud alert. And next comes the tears, because this is one of the fights that I have wanted to see. Not only I couldn't wait for this fight to happen on this card and piss on all the other guys, and it doesn't really matter to me who this is one of the fights in 2013 that have been announced that were set to be official that I wanted to see more than anything. It doesn't matter if it's on the undercard, a prelim. To me, if I take interest in it, I take interest in it. Now, going into that, I really, I didn't have a favorite. I said it doesn't matter because both these guys are my guys. These are my types of guys, and lightweight's well, I don't know. It's a toss-up between 170 and 155, my favorite weight classes. But you know, these two guys are my guys, Pettis and Cerrone. You know, these two are my guys. Whoever wins deserves it, man. It doesn't matter who wins, because you know, they're going to have to earn it, because you know, it's not easy to defeat Cerrone. It's certainly no picnic fighting, you know, Pettis. So it doesn't matter to me who wins. I'm going to be happy for whoever wins. Going into the fight, I started to get a little emotional and start to sway towards Cowboy. So you know, I was really pulling for Cowboy. He's a little bit. I mean, but I can still see holes in his game that need patched up. So you know, maybe it's better that he learn now, move on, and you know, I know he's going to be back. I know he's going to be back and badder than ever. So you know, maybe it's best, you know, to sooner the better. You know, learn now and come back and just be an ass kicker. What else happened? Oh yeah, that's right. I learned that Glover actually trains at the Pit. The Pit is most notorious because of Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell, of course, my first, you know, superhero, if you will, of MMA, and you know, he brought along his little buddy, his little 135er, Antonio Banuelos. I'm not sure is on the UFC roster still or not, but yeah, I mean, it was awesome to see John Hackleman and Chuck Liddell again in Glover's corner, and I mean, this Brazilian has got strikes, and he's still working. You know, he's progressing. He made Rampage look old, slow, and he was just outclassed. You know, and there was nothing he could do about it. So, with all due respect to Rampage, I would like to see Rampage hang him up. It's just, you know, it's one of those times. I didn't see the King of the Slams in that fight. I didn't see somebody that, you know, put him in a triangle. And you know, I did not see the same Quentin Jackson that picked up Ricardo Almeida after a triangle attempt and bashed his brains in for even attempting it. I didn't see that guy. I saw, you know, you know, a retired Rampage. So Glover records a huge W, certainly the biggest of his MMA career, with back like Chuck Liddell. Which I was completely unaware of. This guy could be a serious title contender at 205 in 2013. And last but certainly not least, we have a beast, and he weighs 125 pounds. Demetrius Johnson retains his belt, but not without a dust sprinkling of controversy. Now, the controversy comes here. John Dodson is a bad motherfucker. And I guess some people didn't know that John Dodson, again, is a bad motherfucker. John Dodson came in ready, prepared, willing to take that title, and ready to take that title. He was going to take that title until he ran out of gas. Here's where DJ's experience and you know, being in the, you know, being familiar with the fourth and fifth round, and you know, being just as ready to go, you know, in the first as you are in the fifth, having that experience, being there before underneath all that pressure, it helped him out. You know, it didn't help him out in winning the fight. Here's how. John Dodson did what, you know, a lot of us probably didn't expect him to do. I know I didn't. I'll be honest. I expected John Dodson to pretty much just get ran over. I've never seen anyone so fast in my life. This guy, I've never seen anyone turn a corner and successfully land, you know, wrestle. I've never seen anyone turn the corner and successfully land a takedown like that. I've never seen anyone turn the corner like DJ does, like Mighty Mouse Johnson does. I think he's one of the fastest level changers in MMA. Certainly when it goes from that jab, the jab cross, and then he kind of uses a ton of feints, but he uses like a left feint and hits you and turns the corner, and you don't even see him change levels. It's just amazing. It's amazing to watch. But Dodson has power. Dodson has power, which is something that you know, DJ never had to deal with before. That Mighty Mouse didn't have to deal with before. Joseph Benavidez, not particularly known for his power, but known for his squeeze power. Or not even, like 8 guys in the whole thing, and you know, you beat the top 4. So, I mean, I don't know where Demetrius Johnson is going to go from here. The controversy came here is that John Dodson clearly won rounds 1 and 2, and Demetrius Johnson won rounds 4 and 5. There was a very pivotal round in round 3. That's where Dodson started running out of gas, and that's where Demetrius Johnson started picking up, realizing he's losing his title to Dodson. Not happy with it, not having it, and we have controversy. So, I mean, everything goes with controversy, and you know, the judge's decision, you know, with the Hilke and the way to fight makes me sick enough as it is. But that's my UFC on Fox post-fight vlog. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Rampage Jackson, but I really hope that that he calls this that he calls this his last. I really do. I mean, it's not that I wish him any ill will. Even though I thought the 18 was absolutely terrible. The MMA lab will be open soon on my own website. I can't wait. I'm fucking super stoked. So thanks for tuning in. I will see you again if you click on my shit after the UFC 156 Edgar vs. Aldo this Saturday. So thank you very much. Peace out.